Hey, everybody, welcome back to the SCB Steelers Inside Blitz for February 11th. Yeah, February 11th, 2026. We are, of course, presented by DEK Roofing Incorporated of South Florida. And this is my little short form podcast. Gives me an opportunity when I have something to get off my chest to come down to the fortress of Steelertude down here and share a few thoughts with everybody. I mean, Lord knows I don't get any words in edgewise on the show Thursday night with those three. But in any case, today was a bit of a shit show on social media because Joey Porter Sr. was on the Cam Hayward podcast, and he went after Ben Roethlisberger pretty good. Bad teammate, bad guy, all this stuff. And this comes on the heels of comments that Ben has made and James Harrison has made related to Mike Tomlin and some other things. And, I mean, it quite frankly, it reminded me of kids in a middle school, sharing drama, going back and forth at each other. And quite frankly, I'm left with nothing other than to say it's stupid. There's no other word. It's just stupid. Okay. Nobody says that, teammates have to get along, whether they're on the team, whether it's well past the time of the team, whatever. But it does make me long for the days of yesteryear, the 70s and 80s and 90s, when guys, if they had problems with other guys, then you either talked about it personally in private. You didn't air this crap. But this is the generation it is. It's about getting clicks. It's about, getting some sort of movement on social media, which clearly this did. And, all three of these guys, Debo and PZ and Big Ben, these guys are throwing stones from glass houses at glass houses. Okay. And let me show you some. I keep this in my basement, with all my other stuff. I mean, most of you remember this particular Sports Illustrated when it came out. And as Steelers fans, this killed a lot of us, okay? Because we love Ben, we appreciate Ben, but at the same time, there was a lot of poor decision making on his part. And I keep it up with all my Ben memorabilia because I don't want to pretend for 1 second that he was a perfect individual. He's not. And you know what? Neither is Joey Porter. Joey Porter's had his run-ins with the law. Joey Porter has had numerous issues just being a parent at a North Catholic football games. Okay. So, and we know about James Harrison's history. So none of these guys is in any position to be going at the others. And as far as Ben Roethlisberger being a bad teammate, no shit. We knew this a long time ago. Okay. Not the type of leader that resonated with a lot of teammates. He was a different guy in the locker room. That does not mean that on game days he didn't give everything he had. He wasn't prepared. I mean, the dude played his ass off. Just like Joey, just like James, they all did. When they got on the field, that was what was most important. I personally, I don't care so much. I mean, yeah, I'd love to think that all these guys are hanging out together and it's just one big happy family and all this kind of stuff. But the reality is that's not true. Look at your own workplace. Look at your own place that you go to every day. I mean, does everybody get along with everybody? I'm guessing they probably don't. And so this doesn't necessarily surprise me. I think the timing of it, it's the off season, no big deal. It's just unfortunate. It's unfortunate because, like I said, so many of us just would rather not hear a lot of this crap. And again, if you're of a certain age and you don't know the history of these guys, then do yourself some favor, research it, check it out. There's an old saying, never meet your heroes. And I have always taken it with a grain of salt that when I am around professional athletes and stuff, that I try to remember that they're human beings. They go through ups and downs just like the rest of us. And yes, they oftentimes live their life in front of a camera, in front of a microphone, and they're not always going to be perfect. But this situation was just to me, it's completely unnecessary. Um, and it's unfortunate because if you look on social media, it's dividing fans, because you have some fans coming in on team Peasy, you've got fans on team Big Ben, and that's stupid because we all know the history of these guys. We do. We all know the history of these guys, and I mean, it's just all they're doing is regurgitating history of each other. In fact, and that's what makes it even perhaps more frustrating. It's like it's like going back in time. It's like, why are we doing this again? Um, and so I, that's what I come away with from this event is that these are three guys trying to make a name for themselves outside of the game. Um, and it's not easy to walk away. You lose a lot when you walk away, and none of these guys that I know of is hurting for money or anything like that, but at the same time you always want more. And hey, the clicks, the engagement, it's what it's all about. And it's unfortunate. It's just unfortunate. Okay, so I'm going to move on to something a little more topical, which is the current Pittsburgh Steelers. Been doing a lot of thinking about why Mike McCarthy. Believe me, I've gone through the stages of coaching decision grief. I've been at acceptance for a long time now, and it is what it is. But I've been trying to think about why Mike McCarthy. Why did they buck the 50-year trend of finding young, defensive-minded coaches? And I came back to quarterback. I two things: quarterback and the Art Rooney 2 competitive. We're not rebuilding. We're staying competitive mantra. Okay, I think number one, Mike McCarthy has had a very good record. He's very similar to Mike Tomlin. He's very similar to Sean Payton, and so on. He will do a good job. He will get this team to 7, 8, 9, 10 wins. I'm not ready to make a prediction on that yet because I don't even know who half this team's going to be yet. Neither do you. But he'll do a good job. He's been around. Okay. But I think when it pertains to quarterback, I think part of what this is, I don't see Art Rooney 2 wanting to bring Mike McCarthy in to groom a young quarterback. Mike McCarthy's in his 60s. He is not going to be here for 20 or 30 years. And I think they all know that. So therefore, that tends to make me think that this is even more so about Aaron Rodgers coming back. If I were a betting man, I would put some money on that right now that he will be back. Good, bad, and different. I'm against it. I wrote an article for the website, steelcityblitz.com, shameless plug, this week. I'm not a fan of it. I am ready to suffer. I am ready to go with a younger quarterback and just take my lumps a little bit, improve our draft position across the board, continue to stockpile picks. And look, and I get it. We thought last year coming into this year, there's going to be a great quarterback available, and it hasn't worked out that way. I'm telling you right now, next year is going to be different. There's going to be better quarterbacks available next year. I would stake a lot on that, just based on the names, based on who didn't come out when they could have, and so on. So I really think what this is about being competitive, building some youth within position groups, offensive line, defensive line, and so on, and having that veteran leader at quarterback, and just trying to get that playoff win. I still think that's what it's about. I think that's awful. I think that's a terrible goal to shoot for. But right now, I think that's all that Art Rooney 2 is really thinking about, to be very, very honest with you. So at the end of the day, those two things to me, they know Mike's not going to be around long, and they're not going to try to have him groom a QB. Now, I know what you're thinking. Oh, that doesn't make sense because if they draft one next year, it's still Mike McCarthy. Yeah, there's worse people to have start out your your young rookie QB with than Mike McCarthy. I mean, the guy's been around. He understands. He's had young quarterbacks and so on. But I think there is still a feeling that even if you draft a rookie next year, there's still going to be a bit of a bridge. Okay. And I'm not saying that's Mason Rudolph. I'm not saying that's Will Howard. I'm not saying anything. Um, I'm just simply saying that I think that's what this was. I think they looked at the landscape and they thought, you know what, rather than a young coach, we're going to go with Mike, and Aaron seems, willing to work with that. So we're going to do it. And I think that's what's coming. So that's my 2 cents on that. I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again, but such is life, right? I am excited for the offseason. I'm curious to see where this team goes, both free agency and then the draft. And we'll certainly have a lot more about it coming up tomorrow night on the regular show, 10 p.m. Eastern on our YouTube channel. It'll be live. We'll also simulcast on X as well. And so anyway, thanks for sticking with me for 10, 11 minutes. Appreciate it. And as always, everybody out there, go Steelers. We've had some drinks.